Okay, if you've ever managed a team, you know this feeling. You sit down, you write a to-do list for a project, and then that little voice pops into your head and asks, am I helping here, or am I just micromanaging? That tension, that fear of sending the message, I don't trust you, that's exactly what we're going to tackle today.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's what keeps so many leaders up at night. They're so terrified of looking like they're controlling or patronizing that they just back off. They cross their fingers and hope for the best. And look, that worry is totally understandable, but it's also focused on the wrong thing. See, the real problem isn't the list itself. It's what happens when there isn't a list.
All right, so first up, let's just bust the biggest myth that's holding so many teams back.
So here's the fear, right? The core of the myth is this belief that if you spell things out, you're somehow insulting your team's intelligence, their ability to figure things out. That handing them a checklist is basically the same as putting them on a leash.
But here's the thing, the reality is completely different. When people don't know exactly what's expected of them, they don't feel liberated, they feel anxious. They end up spending all their mental energy just trying to guess what their boss wants instead of actually doing incredible work. And that's not freedom, that's just fog.
And this, right here, gets to the most crucial distinction in this whole conversation. Are we talking about control or are we talking about clarity? Because trust me, they are not the same thing. So let's get super specific. What even is micromanagement? Well, it's that constant hovering, it's the double and triple checking of every detail, and, this is the big one, it's dictating the how. It's taking away all the agency from the person who's supposed to be doing the work. And when you put the two side by side, wow, the difference is just so stark. Micromanagement is all about control. A task list, that's about clarity. Micromanagement dictates the how. A task list defines the what. It's the difference between a leash and a roadmap that empowers you to find the best route yourself.
To put it really simply, one completely suffocates any sense of ownership, while the other literally creates the space for it to grow.
But here's the wild part, the big irony in all of this. If you're avoiding task lists because you're scared of micromanaging, you might be accidentally creating the perfect storm for it. So what do you think it is? What's the one thing that makes even the most hands-off, trusting leader start to get nervous and, a little overbearing? Yup, that's it. Ambiguity. When the goals are fuzzy, when responsibilities are murky, that's when all the trouble really starts. I mean, just think about it. If you're a leader and you aren't 100% sure that your team knows what done actually looks like, you're going to get antsy. You're going to start firing off those, hey, just checking in messages. You're going to start to hover. That lack of a clear plan forces you into the exact behavior you were trying so hard to avoid. Okay, so enough about the problem. Let's flip this on its head. What does a good, well-defined task list actually give you and your team? It really is this simple. You can't ask someone to take ownership of a mystery box. Real, true ownership always begins with a shared understanding of the goal. It is the absolute foundation of any team that performs at a high level. Oh man, probably the most dangerous phrase in all of management. Every single leader has said this at some point, and it's almost always a symptom of one thing, not having a clear, delegable process. You feel like it's easier to do it yourself because you haven't taken the time to document it for somebody else. And a task list is the antidote. You document the process one time, then you can delegate the entire process, the list, not just some vague outcome. And all of a sudden, you can scale your work, you can bring on new people, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel and explain everything from scratch every single time. And just think for a second about the mental energy this saves for everyone. It cuts down on decision fatigue, that what should I do next feeling. It minimizes mistakes, it protects you from distractions, it helps everyone prioritize, and it builds this amazing rhythm of consistent, reliable work. Structure is a productivity superpower. Which brings us to the final and I think most powerful way to look at all of this. We have to stop seeing task lists as a tool of control and start seeing them for what they really are. And hey, let's be clear, this is not just for interns or new hires. The absolute best leaders out there are masters of their own task lists. They model the behavior. They show their teams that having clarity and focus is the standard for everyone, no matter what your title is. So when you give someone a clear list, just look at what you're really giving them. You're giving them clarity, so they know what success looks like. You're giving them autonomy, so they can figure out the best way to get it done. And you're giving them a real concrete foundation to talk about their performance, their growth, and how to get better.
That's what it boils down to. It's about respecting their time and energy enough not to make them play a guessing game. It's respecting their talent enough to let them figure out the how. It's respecting them enough to give them a clear definition of what winning looks like.
So let's just stop confusing the two. Creating a clear shared plan isn't micromanagement. It is management. Full stop.
And that's the question I want to leave you with. Take a look at your team, your company. Are you building a culture of real freedom or one of friction? Because true freedom at work, it doesn't come from ambiguity. It comes from clarity. So, which one are you building?